For the Augusta Free Press, I'm Chris Graham. It's looking like Steve Landis will have his first Democratic Party challenger in the 25th House District since his first run for the Virginia General Assembly back in 1995. Greg Marrow, a Rockingham County optometrist, has thrown his hat into the ring for the Democratic Party primary in the 25th. Marrow, 44, is a military veteran and father of two, and cites both as being foundational elements of his political philosophy.
Being a husband and a father of two young children, do I have to be fiscally responsible and take care of my budget at home? But as the owner and operator of a very successful optometry practice in Harrisonburg, I have to be fiscally responsible. I definitely would categorize myself as fiscal conservative, a Reagan sort of Democrat. I don't believe in big government. I don't believe in lots of taxes and lots of spending. I think we need to rein that in, and we need to be budget conscious. And I think a big part of that is my business background as well as my personal background. We all know that we cannot run our homes like the government runs their government. You know, money doesn't grow on trees, and we all know that. And that's a big part of my sort of platform, is to bring this in and be fiscally responsible. We need to balance budgets, and we need to make sure that our money is being spent wisely.
A focal point for Marrow is economic development at 25th, which includes Waynesboro, with unemployment in the 8% range and more bad news looming on the horizon, with more layoffs expected in the shrinking industrial sector in the coming weeks and months. Marrow is an advocate for moves to think green in the economic development sphere as a way to promote sensible, valley-friendly job growth.
My biggest platforms that I want to do is bring jobs to this area. There has been a green jobs movement in the United States for several years. In fact, in 2007, 9 million jobs were created in the green sector, and they generated about $970 billion worth of revenue. Why aren't we hearing about them? You know, in 2007, President Bush set aside $125 million to train people in the green job sector. And President Obama has committed another $500 million to train folks. So why aren't we hearing about that from our delegates? Why haven't they been working to bring these jobs to Waynesboro and Augusta County and District 25? And that to me is bothersome, because these jobs are high-paying jobs. They're from $20 an hour to $50 an hour. And when in Waynesboro you're sitting at an 8% unemployment rate, we need to be having these discussions. We need to be filling these businesses and these vacant warehouses with these jobs. It's occurring in other states. It's occurring in Ohio. It's occurring in Arizona. It's occurring in Texas. It needs to be occurring here in Virginia.
The military vet in Marrow wants to see the state working more hand-in-hand with the federal government to assist veterans transitioning back to life outside the military than we've seen in recent years.
As a 13-year Navy veteran, I'm very concerned about the care that we give to our returning servicemen and women. Right now, the suicide rate in the Army is the highest it's ever been. Divorce rate is the highest that it's ever been. And we need to make sure that when they come back stateside that we haven't forgotten them. And I don't see any, or haven't seen any, legislation or any bills come through there that is actually working to try to help these folks transition from the active duty side to the civilian side. And these are the folks that are going to be making decisions for us 20 years from now. And we need to make sure that they're being taken care of, not only because they deserve it, because we owe them for their service to this country, but just because they're stateside now doesn't mean that we can just sort of forget them. And I think that in large part they have. And everybody's heard the horror stories about the mice in the barracks, and about these folks that need psychological care, and there aren't enough psychologists in the U.S. military system to take care of these folks. And I think that's a travesty.
It's not all about government having solutions to everyday problems. Marrow has been personally involved in charitable causes in Harrisonburg and Rockingham County for many years, and he thinks it's up to the community to pitch in and take the lead.
I do not think that we can give money. You don't need to give money. It can be time. It can be energy. It can be a smile. It can deliver meals. Anything. All of these organizations out here are looking for volunteers right now, and I strongly would encourage folks to do so. Not only does it benefit your community, but it benefits us as people as well.
The 25th has been represented by Republican lawmakers for 44 years. Marrow knows that he has quite the challenge up ahead to be able to reverse that long-running tide in November.
I know that it's an upward battle here. I know that we have a lot of entrenched thought and belief systems, but the times have changed, not only since 9/11, but also since this economic crisis. And it really is time to start rethinking the way that we are electing our public officials. Are they truly working for you? Are they truly doing what needs to be done to take care of their communities? I think not. And I think that's a big reason. I know it's a big reason as to why I'm running. I think that we need to start considering whatever our value systems are. Are they taking care of each other? Are they taking care of our veterans? Are they making sure that we have health care? Did you know that in Virginia alone, there's about 1 in 6 adults are currently uninsured. 1 in 10 children are currently uninsured, right here in Virginia. And when it comes to infant mortality, of the 25 most developed nations, we rank 24th. And Virginia, in that nation, ranks 31st. And Waynesboro ranks 45th in Virginia. I think that's atrocious. For the greatest nation on this earth, there is no reason why we can't provide this sort of care. That is the community thought. That's the community involvement, the community feeling that I think we need to think about. I think we need to stop thinking about self so much and start thinking about how we take care, because when we take care of the community, we all rise. It's not about just me succeeding or my next door neighbor succeeding or someone down the street succeeding. It's about all of us succeeding. And when we all have jobs, we all invest that money back into our communities, and the communities themselves gets better. History has taught us that. And I think we need to get back to that. I think we've gotten away from it in the 90s and the early 2000s. I think we've gotten really wrapped up and tied up in some of the incidentals and some of these divisive issues. But it is time to get back to what really makes us a community and what makes this country so great. I want to go back to Made in America again. I want those to be the green jobs. It can be, it should be. And I think that people are ready to take that step. I think people are really, particularly because of this economic crisis, are reevaluating what's important. I don't think we're as consumer oriented as we were before. And I think people are realizing that it is about family and it is about community, because when times are tough, the government may leave us, the corporations may leave us, but in the end, it's our family, it's our friends, it's our community that take care of each other, and we need to continue that.
The Democratic Party primary in the 25th District is set for June 9th. Stay tuned to AugustaFreePress.com for the latest in the race of the 25th and the statewide primaries for governor and lieutenant governor. For the Augusta Free Press, I'm Chris Graham.